Hello, all my beautiful peoples of the Ethernet. This is No Henderson the Thomas fan, and today I am going to do a video of a ultimate showcase of all of the Diapet customs I have ever made. Now, first of all, before I begin, I would just like to clarify a few things. One, this video is going to be in sections or chapters, so if you're in a hurry to see which character you want to see, then just check the video description or above the YouTube playhead, and it will give you a list of all the characters that I have in the order. And two, the order for when I show these engines is exactly the order of when I made them from the first character to last. So, with everything out of the way, let's get to it. Chocolate Crunch Percy. Ah yes, Christmas 2019, that day when I've first gotten all the paint supplies and the extra Diapet Percy, Thomas, and James. And strangely enough, the first engine that I wanted to customize was Percy, because I knew that he was going to be pretty simple. Seriously, all I did was just pour a bunch of brown paint and that's it. Although the face and smoke box I did myself because I didn't want the paint to get on his eyes or something. Plus I just thought it looked a little cool this way. As you can see on one side it actually shows the number 6. I tried to do the same for the other side, but paint got all over it and I tried to clean it up and yeah, it ended up like that. So yeah, Chocolate Crunch Percy, one of the easiest Diapet customs I have ever made, and possibly one of the easiest customs as far as I know. LB&SCR Thomas. Yeah, I'll admit, I don't really like the shade of green that I used for him, and the lining and lettering looked a little sloppy, and I forgot to do the lining on the wheels. But still, he's one of my favorites. As you can see, I've added the square lining on the back that the original Diapet Thomas actually lacked, because I thought it would look pretty cool. And then a little bit of duct tape to mask out the parts that I didn't want to be painted. And blammo, my first real custom. And like I said, I've gotten him on Christmas with Percy and Origins James, or Black James, whatever you want to call him. I don't know if you guys actually know this, but this custom was actually unfinished for 2 years. 2 years this thing was unfinished, but I recently just got back and finished off what I left off. I tried to leave off the hand railing, but for some reason I kept getting paint on it, so I was like, screw it, and I just paint over it, and it doesn't really look that good. But anyway, the tender was the main thing that was unfinished and recently got back to finishing it, and again, the lining doesn't look great, but you know, it's kind of hard to do some lining, even with a thin paintbrush, and if you guys have any suggestions on how to do better lining, I'd love to hear them. Patchwork Hiro. If you're wondering why his tender isn't here, it's basically because there's nothing to do on it and there's nothing to it. And also that it would just take up a bunch of space on the screen, so I just did engine only. Anyway, would just like to say this off the bat, this is definitely one of my favorite Diapet customs I've made. Not just because it's colorful and whatnot, but it was actually very fun to do. For one thing, the blue wheel was actually painless to do, because usually painting wheels on Diapets are actually pretty painful. Maybe because I only had to do one wheel. The dome isn't really the right shade, but who cares? A green wind deflector on one side, a purple one on the other. And overall, I think I did very good on this custom, and again, is one of my favorites. LNER Gordon. Oh boy. It isn't that I hate this custom at all. In fact, I think I did great. It's actually because of the many different comments about discrepancies of what number he should be or that he shouldn't have a number at all. In fact, I felt so embarrassed by all of this, and I just started thinking I wanted to remove the number entirely. And I really would like to take this moment just to apologize about my ignorance while making this custom. I really should have known better. Anyway, the shade of green that I used was actually 2 shades of green and was what I should have used for this boy right here. And was at the point where I started getting a little better at lining, especially on the wheels, though they were still painful to paint with the green. Black cylinder, black foot plate. At one point I was actually thinking of doing Sharpie with it, but it just wasn't working. Seriously though, don't do your customs with Sharpie because it just would rub off and it just won't look good. Here is the LNER tender, and I've actually painted the wheels black because I thought it would look real, I guess. Did the lining and the LNER, and yeah, that's pretty much it about this custom. Aside from the number problems, I still think I did very good. Red branch line coaches. I mean, what more can I say? It's just an Annie and Clarabelle, faceless and red. Really though, I came up with this idea to strip off a piece of cardboard and use it for the end of the coach. Kind of looks like a curtain to me, but hey, it'll do. Then just painted the coaches red, and that's pretty much it. I still have the Annie and Clarabelle faces, and I was thinking at one point to paint the faces as well, but I just didn't feel like doing it because it would just take too much time. So basically I just still have them for hopefully renovation, I guess. And yeah, they're very nice coaches. Yellow Algy. And here we are to our newest and final Diapet custom. I really wanted to do the blue Algy, but the problem is that he had 2 front windows when yellow Algy and Birdie have 1. So to save myself from losing my sanity and from some of you nitpickers, I decided to do the yellow one. And just when I thought Gordon was the hardest custom, painting this thing was a bitch. Especially on the windows. The windows were the worst. I even messed up on one spot, and I got so pissed at that I didn't even feel like fixing it. Other than that, I think the best part of doing this custom was probably the orange lines. I left the seats red to make it look like a leather seating or something. Painted the wheels, and that's pretty much it for this custom and for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and supporting some of my Diapet customs. It really meant a lot to me. It's pretty sad that Diapet isn't going to make any more models anymore. It was such a good range and there really could have been more potential to them. But you know, nothing lasts forever. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video, so thanks again for watching and I'll see you when I decide to upload again.